Are you there?
Yes, I am here. Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So yeah, this month is really critical. It's always time is to talk about returning citizens and the lives that they want to live once they come back and become uh, important or contributing parts of our community. So tell us a little bit about life after release.
Yes, Life After Release is an organization that I started shortly after coming home from prison in 2017. We started as an organization, I didn't have much, so we would go inside of the library and we would, I would go inside of the library and do a resume clinic once a month. And we kind of branched off from that into an organization now where we are supporting individuals in a more broad way around workforce development, legal empowerment, to be able to get our folks who are returning in a place where they can actually live their life.
Kiana, how long after you returned? I mean, I don't know how much time, I don't know much about your story, and I don't know if you want to share any of that with us, but it would seem to me, and I know Roach Brown, a lot of others in the returning citizen community who really talk about that transition, especially if they've been away a long time, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It's hard to come back and say, okay, I want to write a resume and get a job. I mean, what is that space like in between, to get folks mentally prepared for life after prison?
Yes. So I did 2.5 years and I came home, and you may think that's not a long time, but it is a long time to be separated completely, and isolated completely from your community and what's going on around you. The only sense of the outside world that we really have is that of our family and that of the news or things that we may hear or see in the newspaper. But everything else is left behind. We don't have access to anything else of the outside world once we're incarcerated. So, coming home is whether it's 2 years or 30 years, it is, a period of time where we're missing out on a lot of things in community.
And so, part of it, I would think, I'm not sure, but sort of the mental transition, and maybe some folks when they come home, they're like, I'm gonna do ABC. They've got sort of a plan. I would think that most folks don't have a plan, right? And so, how do they reach you, and then how do you help them to sort of navigate um, the waters?
Yeah, most folks don't have a plan, and it's usually the community-based organizations that usually step in and fill the gap for individuals who are coming home. If they can find us, if they can reach us, right? A lot of us are tucked away and hidden, or we don't have enough, dollars and funds to do mass marketing, so people don't know that we exist. And so, being able to help folks navigate something as simple as, going down to social services and getting assistance, or going to school, navigating how to do your resume, or how to set up an email, depending on how long you've been incarcerated, is a huge challenge. A lot of the everyday things that most individuals who have not had the experience of incarceration take for granted are very huge obstacles for those who are returning back to the community.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I can imagine, and I've heard stories. But for your organization, where do you operate, and where are most of your clients or the folks that you work for? Are they DC based or Maryland? Do you serve both?
We serve primarily Prince George's County. Our office
Okay.
is located in Prince George's County. We're inside of the Creative Suitland Center on Silver Hill Road, across from the Suitland Metro Station. And by default we get some DC residents, right? Because we're so close to the DC line. But and we will help them. We have very good partnerships in DC, and a sister organization, Harriet's Wildest Dreams in DC, that picks up a lot of the things that we cannot do. But that's where we're located. And we do get some residuals from Baltimore City and County. We do get some from Anne Arundel County. But because of our limited resources and some of our funding, we are hyper focused on Prince George's County. We have a partnership with the Returning Citizens Affairs Division, a newly formed by the Angela Also Brooks administration, a newly formed division of the county that we are in partnership with, and also with Employee PG. So because of our partnerships, it just really limits the people who we're allowed to, based on our funding, who we are actually allowed to support.
Yeah, we're going to talk about funding in a little bit. But I know that you have an expo that's coming up, the Reboot and Rise Tech Empowerment Expo. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, our Reboot and Rise Technology Expo is bridging the gap between folks who are folks who are formerly incarcerated, and the technology gap that continues to widen every day for individuals who are returning home and have been away for a period of time, so that they can be able to access things like resumes, emails, Wi-Fi. If they wanted to get into the tech field, introducing them to skills and how to be self-taught to do things like coding and cybersecurity and other things that can also lead to a stream of income, a very lucrative income for individuals who are returning home and may not have an extreme background process that will hinder them from being a part, or to having a good living, and having, being able to have a skill that can actually bring them money.
Is there? I mean, it sounds great. I mean, what will happen there? Workshops? Are there speakers? Tell us what's going to happen.
Yes, we will have workshops. We will have young people there that will be doing STEM. We will be having some virtual technology. We will have photo booths. We will have Anthony Belton from Flick Shop that will be there talking about their technology school that they have as well. He's also formerly incarcerated. And we will have Crystal Orietta. We will have a host of partners. Metro will be there. Other employers will be there, being able to hire. So it will be, we will also be giving away makeovers for individuals who get interviews. We will be giving away headshots, free headshots, professional headshots. So come dress business manual so that you can be prepared for your headshot on that day.
Sounds fantastic. I want to check the date again because I missed that. When is it going to happen?
April the 26th,
Okay.
Saturday, April the 26th at 1 p.m. at Trinidad Baptist Church in Walcott Mill, Maryland.
Wonderful. Okay. And so, I like the fact I heard that you were going to have some folks who own companies or have businesses that themselves were returning citizens or formerly incarcerated individuals. And so I assume there'll be some sort of testimonials for people to know that this is real, that things can happen. You want to talk about, was there any intention that you had to make sure that you had for people who could give those kind of testimonials?
Absolutely. We have people, actually, Mr. Willie Hamilton, who works with me every single day. I will let him take up some space. We brought Willie home. He was the first juvenile lifer in the state of Maryland that we were able to assist in, along with many other partners, to bring him home. But Willie did 30 years. And so he is going to be one of our speakers, one of the people, and, be able to talk about just how left behind individuals who are taken away from our society are separated from technology.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you, Mr. Hamilton. I'm glad that you could join us because I've been talking about you as I as I define, folks that are coming home. But I'm glad to finally talk to you, so that you could tell your own story about, the transition from 30 years of being incarcerated and then coming back to the community. And basically, I would assume, it's like starting all over again. Is that the case?
First, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. So it's not even like starting over. It's like beginning.
Mm.
It's like you never had a start. If you can imagine just being in a cave and being able to visualize all the new technology that everyone else is being exposed to, but not being exposed to it yourself, except to visualize it, be able to see it, not to be able to handle it, learn about it. That's what it's like. So I went to a prison at the age of 16, and I came home when I was 47. So for since 1992 to 2022, I was not exposed to any real form of technology. Anything that you may use inside of the prisons is very outdated. Maybe
So
10 years ago.
let's break that down, Willie. I mean, we're talking about cell phones. We're talking about computers, laptop computers. We're talking about. I know Roach Brown often talks about guys that have come home and the first thing they're looking for is a payphone on the street. Those are gone.
Yes.
So I mean, talk about some of the things that you have had to learn to to work with.
So my experience first coming home, you mind you, no one had cell phones when I got incarcerated, unless you were very rich or you were into other things. They had these big old cell phones that people would use. So
I remember.
Learning how to even turn a cell phone on, right? And mind you, that they're touch screens now, so being used to the sensitivity of a cell phone, learning how to get to to dial a number in, all of these things, you get sensory overload because you haven't been exposed to these things. Emails, learning about passwords and password verifications, and everything requires a password. So if you haven't been exposed to any of these things in over 10, 20, or 30 years, it's hard to grasp, and some people people not understanding the time and consideration it takes to a returning citizen to grasp this, to learn these things is very important. So we have to be patient. So this event is going to highlight all the everything that it takes for an impacted person to be rebooted back and rise and back into society, to be acclimated with technology, because
Yeah.
this is the way of the future.
I'm curious too, because in one sense you may feel like you're left behind, but in another sense it's like, I mean, it seems like exciting, to see like I can do so much with this new technology. I mean, how do you feel about it? I'm putting words in your mouth and I don't want to do that. But I know it's a test of ability, but at the same time, what does it do to your sense of, like I said, beginning, to your sense of
So
beginning, as you put it?
so it's scary. Let me say that.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
exciting and scary because
Hmm.
you're seeing so much stuff. So like my director will tell you, she so she had me open up a Google Doc. It was foreign to me. She's laughing because she understands. She knows. And I was so intimidated by, okay, learning how to input things in a Google Doc, learn how to get to it. So, but she was very patient with me. And I guess it's come from her experience also as being incarcerated in the field that she works in. She
Hmm.
understands the patience that it requires for returning citizens to get this, because I'm not going to grasp it the first, the second, or maybe the 10th time. It's going to take a
Right.
repeat, like she always talk about. She talk about muscle, mind muscle or strength or something like that. So she understands that it's going to take a repeated going over. Even now, I've been home almost 3 years, and I still have trouble with some of the things. And she always say, "Why didn't you call me? Call me, ask me." But sometimes we come from an environment where we really don't like asking people for things, but getting
Right.
in the mode of, especially when you feel comfortable around someone who has their best interests in mind. And I think no one can host this event better than Life After Release, because they deal with the people. They're in the community, and people trust them. So I think we're going to have a great time with this.
Wonderful. I'm just curious, Quiana, how did you and Willie connect?
That's a great
So
story.
Willie and I connected through our participation participatory defense program, which is one of our legal empowerment programs. Like I said, we worked to bring Willie home. There was no pathway for Willie to come home when we got his case. His aunt came to us, and we worked with several lawyers and other community groups and interested people to be able to bring Willie home. We had to change legislation actually to get Willie home, and to remove the governor out of the parole process, to talk to the Department of Parole and Probation about risk assessments and a host of other things to get Willie home. And so we worked. So Willie has actually been with us from the moment he came home. And so we got him fresh out. We got him off the bus, off the white van that he got off of. As soon as he got in, he started volunteering. And very shortly later, I found money to be able to pay Willie to do things. And so, like he said, he was very kind in what he said. But no, Willie quit with us for a little while. He's like, I can't take this. It stressed him out really bad. And
Yeah,
so,
I kind of heard that. That
it
fear.
stressed him out really bad. And and if you don't have a supportive person in a leadership role that doesn't understand that, and what if I wasn't formally incarcerated? What if I didn't push back to people to say, hey, look, you got to give our people a little bit more time and investment when it comes to technology? If I wasn't a frontline advocate for this, then I would have pushed Willie, like, get this done now. It has to be done now. And he's like, I don't even know where to start. You told me to open a Google Doc. I don't even know what that is. And so I had to kind of like take a couple of steps back. Before my incarceration, I worked for the federal government. So I went in, and I was only gone for 2.5 years, but I went in with some level of knowledge. But even with me coming home, I was using flash drives when I went in 2015. When I came home in 2017, people were using Google Documents in order to I was like, what is that? So that is why I had compassion for Willie, because I left with my flash drive and came home to Google Documents and iClouds, and I didn't know what that was.
So, I mean, I think I love and I appreciate you all sharing the stories, and I mean, and it gives folks a sense of what will happen at this expo that's coming up on the 26th, and sort of opens the door for people to say, the way I hear it, there's a space. Come on in and have a seat, and let's do some things. Quiana, how is the organization funded? How do you all make it? Because you keep, mentioning the fact of funds. I'm curious about that.
Yes, we have a lot of philanthropy dollars. We have a very big partnership with the Hyattsville Midnight Church, who supports us a lot over the last 4 years. They support various programming within our organization, and we just most recently got into partnership with the Return and Citizens Affairs Division of the county, and that was after some time. And so we don't get any federal funding. We really rely on small level dollars, donations, recurring donations, especially in the times that we're going into right now, where folks are not sure where their next grant or dollar is going to come from. So we actually really depend on, reoccurring donations, churches, if they have, different funds that they have available that they would like to donate to us. That's what we rely on.
Well, we're going to put the website, I assume we have it, at the bottom of the screen for those who want to reach out and not only come to the conference, but who may also want to support what you're doing through funding and may need more information. It sounds like a great program that you have. You're touching on the things that are really important, and that's how people can be self-supportive and self-sustaining. And at a time, I'm sure, folks are also concerned, well, thousands of people are losing their jobs. There's still opportunities to generate income. And so I'm sure, well, not sure, but I would assume that at the conference, you're going to be talking about that as well.
Yes. Can I make one last point? To all of our government I'm a former government employee, and to all of our government employees, we also welcome you, especially if you may have gotten your clearance in the 80s or the 90s, and they hadn't run a background check, and you may have had a hiccup, and you may have gotten on parole or probation in between your last secret clearance or background check, and you're a little nervous. Come on out. Nobody has to know. We won't tell anybody. We won't report you, but it's open, and come on out, because we understand. It's not just for people who are formerly incarcerated and actually done prison time. If you are impacted in any way by the criminal legal system that involves a background, parole, probation, you may not have gone to prison. You may have been lucky enough this time, or in your instance, to not have to go to jail or prison, but you may have a charge, or you may have had something that you have on a stat docket. I'm not going to tell anybody, but just come on out and get that experience, because we're in uncertain times right now, especially with our government employees. And so I just wanted to make mention and stand in solidarity with them.
Wonderful. Quiana, I appreciate Quiana Johnson, Executive Director of Life After Release. Thank you so much for being with us, as well as you too, Willie Hamilton. Welcome home, and wishing you the best. And as you learn more about this technology and how you will use it for your new beginning, or your beginning. So thanks a lot for joining us.
Yes. Thank you.
All righty. Have a great day.